No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. They come to our shores seeking safety and freedom. We put them in jails. We treat them like criminals.
When you hear the jail doors close behind you, you feel like you lost yourself. You have no voice, you are invisible. The essence of being human, you feel like you have lost this.
I thought I would only be in for a month. Then it turned into 4 to 6 months. Then 2 years and 4 days. None of the women in detention have the benefit of the doubt. Nobody believes them. There is no accountability and no transparency for anyone. The women slowly become invisible.
After the first days of being in detention, I was ready to self-deport. It was a very lonely and isolated time. I felt totally disconnected from the world.
They never call you by your name. They call you by your bunk number. When immigration comes, they call you by your alien registration number. To them, you have only an A number. You never hear your name.
I spent 5 months and crossed through 11 different countries to get to the United States. The journey through South America was terrible, and then to arrive in hell. In Somalia, I grew up by myself and saw a lot. I lived by myself most of my life. I had freedom. I never thought I would be in prison. 7 months and no freedom.
Loss of freedom, constantly being monitored, being separated from family, friends, and the outside world, and not knowing if you will be released or deported back to your country. That feeling is the story of my time in prison, the United States prison.
I knew I would have rights and international protection if I got to America. When I walked through that tunnel at the US port of entry, I thought I was walking towards the gate of freedom. I presented myself right at the point of entry. I told them, I'm coming to the United States to seek asylum because I'm running away from my home and my government who wants to kill me and my family. On that fateful day, my hands were cuffed, my legs were chained, and I did nothing more than move from process to process to process, all in chains. All in chains.
My decision to leave Jamaica was one that it was a matter of safety for me because I was very involved in advocacy for LGBTQ persons.
My decision to come to the United States was a matter of safety first.
My journey coming into the United States, for me, it's one that I think is going to live with me for the rest of my life, especially with the situation of the detention at the Kenosha County Jail. On arrival at the airport, I had my paid tuition receipt, my valid visa. I had my documentation showing the hospitals I was going to for my clinical rotations. But all those things did not matter to the immigration officer at the airport.
America held the promise for me. It was like that place that I knew I could come and be myself and find security, and then the opportunities as well. We
don't have the right to be who we are, and we're threatened, beaten, stoned, and killed. And one example of that is Dwayne Jones. He was killed in a very hostile way. He was run over by a car, he was shot, he was stoned and beaten in a crowd of over 200 persons at a party because he was cross-dressing there.
Being detained is something I don't wish for anybody, especially by ICE. First, you get handcuffed and leg cuffed like you were a violent criminal.
I was actually handcuffed on my hands and on my feet directly from the airport.
Just imagine you're leaving your country. You're going in a place that you have nowhere, you know no one. You're just leaving, and all you know that you're just running for something, a life that you dream of being safe, and that all you met up on was shackled.
Being in like a cage for so long affects you in many ways.
You're being transported into a bus that looks like the dog bus that you see animal control in, with no light, no window, dark.
Terrified. I didn't know what to expect. This was a new country for me. I didn't know anything about America.
The term alien is something they were sometimes using to make fun, like, oh, you guys, your spaceship is in the backyard waiting for you.
One defining moment of my stay in detention, which is actually for me the most horrible, was a month after I got into detention and I became sick.
It was so cold for me that I had nasal breathing problem where there was blood flowing from my nasal every night when they turn up the AC.
Getting to 2 weeks, I was constantly shivering on my bed every single minute with high grade fever. Most times my whole bed was filled with sweats and I really needed to see a physician.
But most of the staff were using sometimes the F word, the racial slur, and were mocking us.
Finally, when it got to a point whereby they knew if they didn't take me to see a doctor, I might die, they had to let me go see a doctor.
Mentally, it was very, very depressing just to see you being minimized by a per human being.
And if that's the welcome that I got from America, trust me, it didn't sit well with me at all.
And during that trip, I was taken in a dog pen, and it's kind of a pen whereby they put a handcuff on your hands, put a handcuff on your legs, and for just no reason.
When I went to the doctor, they prescribed to me blankets. That was the medication, which was so ridiculous.
They just want you to break down mentally and give up on your fight for freedom so you can just get removed.
It was horrible.
It was, excuse me, it was a situation that I felt all hope was lost.
The jail visitation program started perhaps over a decade ago as a weekly visitation to people in immigration detention.
These men and women are like pawns on a chessboard. They have no control right now. Our country is moving them around like those pawns, ripping them from their family.
And I find it very sad that they never see the light, the real light of day. They don't see the snow, the rain, the sunshine. They live in artificial lighting.
Being able to be with someone when they take their first breath of fresh air in over a year, because in ICE detention and the facilities we visit, you don't get outside time.
I think the time that I'm able to sit across from any one of the detainees, it's a very sacred moment, it's a holy moment, and I receive, I think, far more life and goodness than I'm ever able to give to them. However, I know they love our visits and look forward to those visits.
I remember one in particular, Sister Pat. Every time she came in, I would ask her, like, describe to me how the outside looks like.
What's it like outside? You know, is it hot? Is it cold? Is it raining?
And she'd be like, oh, when we were driving here, there were people out on the beach, the sun feels this way. People are out dressed in flowery dresses, it's all beautiful. So every time she came in, I asked her to describe for me the outside, and it felt so good.
When the immigrant detainees would tell us how much the visits meant, And that was very humbling.
The jail visitation program did a lot for me, and this is one of the main reasons why I kind of volunteer myself to return a favor to others right after my release. Not only visiting was really a spiritual healing.
It gave me hope. It gave me hope. It made me smile. These were people that were non-judgmental. They just came and they'd listen to you talk, and you'd go on and they'd just look at you and smile.
This is priceless, just to have somebody to talk to about your mental health, about your life, and somebody that can go out there and ask churches to pray for you.
Just knowing that somebody out there was thinking about me, cared for me, they were awesome.
It became very clear to me that this was the kind of work that I wanted to be doing and felt like I needed to be doing.
Harbor Hospitality addresses a number of issues with the immigration system, primarily a need to sponsor individuals out of immigration detention. And we do that through pooling a series of resources. The first and most important is no-cost housing. So we're asking community members to donate housing of various sorts. This can be an adjacent building to a church, it can be an empty house, anything they want. We match those with communities of volunteers that we call mentors, and these mentors have a direct engagement with either the individual or family throughout their 2 years in our program. On top of that, we provide a monthly stipend for those in our program so that they can afford some basic amenities along the way.
I just have only nice things to say about ICDI housing, and whoever gets an opportunity to get into the housing, they should just max it out. It's the best place to start.
De que siendo una persona que lo tenía todo en mi país, venir a un país donde no conozco a nadie, donde no me esperaba a nadie y donde nunca esperaba que una organización me recibiera como lo hizo ICDI. Nunca voy a olvidar esta organización ni el programa espectacular, profesional que tiene ICDI.
They are able to provide shelter to a family that needs it.
The fact that I had a roof over my head in a very new country, the hope that they gave me and the community that they gave me, it was all, they were amazing people.
Nobody leaves their home voluntarily and without a really, really, really good reason.
I would want people to know how much it means to people seeking asylum, to have other people understand that they're here because they need to be, because they want to feel safe, because they want to start a new life.
Llegué a ICDI, a esta organización que me acogió con los brazos abiertos y que me ha brindado, sobre todo, con mucho cariño y mucho amor, independientemente de la raza, religión, me han acogido como una familia.
So some of the values that ICDI upholds through its work are mercy, compassion, empathy. These are values that I hold dear in my heart, and these are values that are shared by every faith group and everyone who believes in this work. So it's something that all of us at ICDI really work hard to implement, this compassion and welcome piece of our work in every program and in everything that we do.
We belong to one human family, and everybody, no matter the color of their skin, the country they are from, all of us are children of God.
When people come together and everyone brings their various gifts, whatever they might be in their individuality, and gives what they can, that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
When you pull in the right partners and convey what's needed, it's not as hard as it might seem to put a project like this together.
The purpose of ICDI is to interfaith everyone, all faiths, all colors. They are our brothers and sisters, and the work we do is to embrace them in some way, to say, you are respected and loved.
So I ask all of you to support the work that ICDI does. Myself, I am a donor, and I ask all of you to support ICDI either by volunteering, by donating right now, by becoming a monthly donor, by adopting a family, by joining the visitation programs that we do, or supporting any program that we do. It's all important work. It's God's work. And I ask all of you right now to be generous. If you were planning to donate $1,000, please give $2,000. If you were planning to do $500, please give $1,000. Our work is important. It's important for all of us as communities of faith, and it's the way that we can put our faith into action. So support ICDI.
I get emotional when I speak about ICDI. I do get emotional, honestly. I tell people about ICDI because probably they may think, we're helping immigrants, but it goes a long way. It's like way more than just, it's way more than just helping for some of us.